Hello my Bellezas, welcome back to a new video. As you can tell by the title, I am doing another Leyendas from Mexico or Legends from Mexico. So if that is something that you guys want to see today, please go ahead and keep on watching. And if you are new here, hi, my name is Brenda. I go by Beyond Belleza. If you would like to join my little community of Bellezas, all you have to do is subscribe down below and turn on your post notifications so you do not miss a new video. Also give this video a huge thumbs up if you end up enjoying it whatsoever. And with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and get into today's video. Alright guys, so I feel like I am all over the place putting this video together, and because I did promise you guys 2 videos, but I was like, can I film 2 videos this week? Let's see if I can, which is why I look like this. I look like a hot mess. I didn't do my makeup this time because I just did not have the time. It is 10 p.m. right now that I am filming this, and it is Wednesday, so I am a little bit ahead of being able to post this on Friday for you guys. So if I'm kind of all over the place, that is why. But anyways, I hope that you still end up enjoying this video however it turns out. But get your little snacks ready, your comidita, your drinks, your whatever it may be. Get it ready for the video. And I'm here with Lil Pump as always, keeping me company. And yeah guys, as I said, I am all over the place, but I have my little notes here, so if you do end up seeing me look down at these or at my phone, it is because I have been trying to cram information in my head for these videos, and it's all within like less than a week that I'm doing these. And it's always as soon as I get home from work. I get home at 9, and then I eat dinner, and then I set this all up to be able to film for you guys. So it is a lot, and sometimes I like stumble over my words, or I forget things, or I don't have the best execution when it comes to like my script. So bear with me guys. All right, so the first legend is about La Pasajera Fantasma de Yucatan, or in English, the Ghost Woman of Yucatan. Or no, see me not paying attention. The Passenger Ghost in Yucatan. Okay, there we go. So this legend is, so it's near El Palacio Municipal, aka the municipal palace, I think is what the translation is in English. So this legend basically tells about a young woman who is seen standing on the corner of the street that I'm talking about in the municipal palace, and she looks to be looking for a ride, like a cab maybe, or like a bus or something. And they see her carrying like a box with all of her stuff in it, and then also like a bundle of flowers on the side. So they approach her, like cab drivers who are, because she is trying to haul a cab, they approach her and they pick her up in their car, and she gets in the car and she's trying to get to the colonia of Rosario, I think is what it was called. Yeah, so it is like a different little town basically, and she tells them that that's where she's trying to go. And as they take her there and they're dropping her off, she pays them with 200 pesos basically, which I really didn't know how much this was, but it's about like a $10 bill, and I'm guessing that this is way more than the fare for where like the distance for where they're taking her. So the cab drivers usually tell her that they don't have change to give back to her for the $10 bill or the 200 pesos. So she tells them that it's okay, that they can just come pick her up again and at the same place that they dropped her off. And so they agree to this. They're like, okay, that's fine, like that'll complete the payment, I guess. So I'm gonna say it's approximately like $5. And so they agree to this, and then they leave her there and they leave, and then they come back the next morning and they're ready to pick her up at this location, and they don't see her. So they approach this place, I guess it's like a house or something, and they knock and they ask for if there's a woman there because they're here to pick her up. And the owner says that a woman doesn't live there, and that there used to be a woman that lives there, but she actually died in that home, or because she killed herself. And so they tell them this, and the cab driver ends up being really confused, and they're like, but I dropped her off here. And they're like, yeah, nobody, like, a woman doesn't live here basically. And I'm like, damn, like no woman has ever lived there beside this one, I guess. But yeah, they said that she killed herself after finding out that her brother passed away. So they end up leaving, and they get back in their cab, and then as they're trying to figure out what happened, they take out the bill that this lady had given them, and they realize that it was nothing but a blank piece of paper. So this is like something scary to find out. First of all, she's not even there anymore. What they had originally seen was that she had given them money, and now it's nothing but a blank piece of paper. So it's really spooky. I was like, that's kind of like what some of the stories that you hear where they give somebody a ride somewhere, and then once they get there, the person isn't there anymore. And I hear a lot of those types of stories. I was actually listening to one about a police officer in Honolulu, and then when I found this legend from Mexico and Yucatan, I was like, this happens a lot. Like, it's a lot of like restless souls type of thing, a lot of just people that do the same routine over and over. I know there's a word for this type of spirit, but I can't remember it off the top of my head right now. But yeah, either way, super creepy. I feel like a lot of cab drivers have had the same story. Sorry, I had to hiccup and burp at the same time. They say that a lot of cab drivers have talked about this and have had this experience before. So
Rastro alguno.
Mira, hace como aproximada como 15 días estaba yo en mi rutina y me pidió apoyo una ciudadana aquí en el Palacio Municipal, la cual la abordé. No, me pidió que yo no fuera para allá, que si no yo la llevara a su casa donde vivía ella. Y yo pues le hice caso. Me dice, ¿sabes qué? Llévame a mi casa, dice, porque tiene días, dice, que pues no saben nada de mi familia, dice. Ok, la llevé, pero antes de llegar a su casa se bajó en una esquina. Y ¿sabes qué? Dice, me voy a bajar aquí, dice, porque mi familia está enojada conmigo, dice, porque yo ya me salí y todo. Y dice, pero me señaló su casa. Y entonces yo llegué a la casa donde me señaló ella. Estaba yo hablando ahí, para que a ver si alguien salía, y no salió nadie. Incluso un vecino de al lado me dijo que si a quién buscaba. Yo le digo, a la familia, a los señores que están aquí viviendo en esta casa. Dice, no hay nada, dice, aquí no hay nadie, dice, ya la casa está abandonada hace varios años.
So it's very creepy, and I'm guessing it is well known in Yucatan. I don't know, I'm not from there. I'm just telling the stories, so I am just a messenger. But yeah, that was the first legend. And let me pull up the second one, because I actually didn't write notes for this. I just pulled it up on my phone. Because as I said again, I be procrastinating, and I also don't have the time to be procrastinating. Okay, so the next one is El árbol de la bruja triste en Guerrero. So this one is the tree of the sad witch in Guerrero, Mexico. Like, I literally am translating off the top of my head because no preparedness over here. Okay, so there's basically a field in a rancho that they called El Centro. That's what according to this article. And it says that witches would turn into animals. So basically, like lechuzas, if you guys have ever heard of the stories about lechuzas, that's basically what witches do. It's they turn into like an owl sort of figure or something else, like another type of animal. It just really depends on who you're asking. And so it says that they would turn into these animals so they can attack, you know, human beings and prey on them and take their blood out, what have you. Several different things that they say that these witches would do. And so there was a man in this legend that they say that there was a man who didn't believe in any of them. And it seems like in this in the legend in this article that he had animals, so he would take care of his ganado, which is basically like what's earning him money, which is these animals in the rancho. He would take care of them alongside of his nephew. He would take care of his nephew. He would have him with him in the rancho while he was taking care of his animals. So it says that one day he left his nephew alone sleeping while he went and grabbed firewood for their home. And while he went and did this, he heard a woman's voice. Like, he just heard somebody saying something. It was a voice of a woman. And as he heard this, he went and ran back to where his nephew was to, I guess, to check on him, because there was a stranger around, whether it be a bruja or not. I think anybody would automatically want to go do that. And as he got there where his nephew was, he saw a lechuza, which is basically an owl. It's a witch in the form of an owl, as I said. And that's who he ran into as he got there. And he was just, the lechuza was just looking at him and his nephew. And as the man tried to go attack the lechuza started getting closer to his nephew. So I guess he wasn't close to his nephew yet. He like probably stopped and they were, you know, at a distance from each other. And the lechuza starts getting closer to his nephew. And so this man lunges at his nephew to protect him from the lechuza. So that's his first move. He goes and gets his nephew. And at that moment, the lechuza turns back into a human form as a woman. And so this man kept attacking this lechuza and, you know, trying to expose her for what she was. And this witch starts crying and begging him to not reveal her secret of who she was, basically. So I'm guessing he maybe knew who she was, like she might live like in their town or something. And it says that the man didn't listen to her pleas, and he went and told everybody in town. He went and like announced this secret of who she was, that she was a witch and she was a lechuza. And it says that ever since this happened, there is like a tree in this area, and whenever you approach it, you can hear somebody crying, and you can hear the cry of the lechuza, the witch, whatever you want to call her. And that is what the legend tells in Guerrero about this specific tree. And of course, I will be showing you guys what this tree looks like. Very, very creepy. I've always heard a lot of stories about witches and about a bunch of different things that they do. And I know there's more than one type of witch, and there's a lot of different sort of witchcraft and what have you. So this is just from legends according to the Mexican people who believe in the chuzas and all of that.
Okay, so I just wanted to come on here real quick and say that while I was researching for the lechuza part, I felt so bad because I saw some videos of people hurting owls, like burning them and doing a bunch of other things to them, all because of this myth about them turning into witches or being witches or whatever. So I just wanted to say that I don't condone that part of this whole myth, and even though they are kind of weird looking creatures, I think that they still don't deserve any of that, obviously. But yeah, just wanted to say that really quickly.
So yeah, that is the second one. Very creepy, and hope I never have to run into no kind of lechuza, because somebody actually mentioned that from one of my previous videos where I was talking about how I heard like a bird knocking and flapping and, you know, ramming against the window. They were like, what if it was a lechuza? And I was like, girl, don't even start with me, because I don't want to put that in my head. I'm gonna end up scared all the time when I'm anywhere near my window. Okay, so anyway, let's go on to the third leyenda. The last legend that I have for you guys is about La Fuente de los Muñecos, and this is in Puebla. I'm not sure if it's pronounced this way, but I think it's Chonaca, and I think it's in Puebla. That is what where the legend is from. And so this is, yeah, so as I said, it's La Fuente de los Muñecos, or La Fuente de los Niños, they also call it. I think there's two names for it, but I'm just gonna refer to La de los Muñecos. And so it says that in this area there used to be the word that they used was caballerango, and I think this is just gentleman, but don't quote me on that. I need to work on my Spanish, I know. But they said that he lived here with his two kids, his wife and his two kids, a boy and a girl. And the legend says that these two kids were walking together to school. So the son was holding onto the umbrella, and he was holding onto the little girl as well. And they were walking on a rainy day to school. And you know, when it's raining and you're holding an umbrella, and then you're also holding your little sister, you're just looking straight the whole way, because there's just wind and water all over the place, and you're just trying to get to your destination. So this is what these two kids were doing, and legend tells that as they were doing this, walking, they didn't see that there was an open well, and the two kids ended up falling into this well. And as time approached for them to come back home from school, and you know, as time passed after that, their parents started to get worried, and so they ended up gathering everybody from the town basically, and putting a search party together to go looking for these kids, because it was almost getting dark outside and they still hadn't come home, and it was almost like clockwork that they would go walk to school, and it wasn't very far, and it was a small town, and they knew exactly what time it would take them to come back home. So it was very odd for them to not turn up at this time already. So they go put this search party together for the kids, and ultimately they end up seeing that there's like this open sort of well or hole. I don't really know exactly what it was for. And so the hole that the kids ended up falling into was actually very close to the home of Maximino Avila Camacho, which was the president of Mexico at the time. And after he found out about this tragedy, he decided to get like a fountain built right on top of the pozo, which is kind of just like a well with water in it, and you know, to erect that up where it was, and that is where it is to this day. And as I said, because he felt like he needed to do something to honor these kids and this tragedy, he decided to do it in this way by putting up a fountain with the two kids, and you guys will see it in the pictures here. Okay, I had to check back with the article because I'm not really sure exactly where they built this fountain with the kids in it. Like, not the exact location. I don't know if they did it right on top of the actual well that they fell into, or if they just did it in the vicinity of the town. But they do say that in front of the church in this town, which is La Iglesia de la Candelaria, I almost forgot it, that La Iglesia de la Candelaria, they do see the apparition of a little girl wearing pigtails and a yellow dress, and she's holding some books, as well as she's accompanied by a little boy who is wearing like a blue little outfit, and they're running around, and you can hear the sound of kids laughing and having fun at night. And they stand there at the fountain, and of course, you know, the water is just coming down on them all day. And they say that by night, so the people in this town allegedly say that the statues, the figures, whatever you want to call this fountain, cobran vida, which basically means that they take a life to be able to run around and play at night. And I think that they are trying to say that as the statues, they literally come alive at night, and you can hear the echoes of their laughter all throughout the town, in the roads and whatnot. And then at like all the way up to the morning, and then they'll go back into their statue form. And that is basically just what the people in this town tell. And I will try and find any clip that I can to insert here for you guys to see a little bit more and get that image of them in your head and what the people believe in this town of Puebla.
Sí. Algunos también cuentan, o personas grandes que he llegado a platicar con ellos, que sí, efectivamente ellos ven cómo sus zapatos se desgastan porque pues salen a caminar.
But yeah, guys, that is going to be all of the leyendas from Mexico today. I really do hope that you enjoy them, because as always, I love making these types of videos for you guys, and I know that you guys really enjoy them as well. Please make sure that you check out any of my previous videos and even my non-spooky videos, so you guys could get to know me a little bit more, because I would really love to have you guys get to know me a little bit more and show some of my other vlogs and make videos some love as well. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. Oh, and of course I forgot to do my comment shout out, as I always do. Let me pull it up real quick. Okay, so the comment shout out is gonna go to Yasmin Avonza, I think is how you say your last name. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for leaving a nice comment. And as always, if you want to be the next comment shout out, all you have to do is leave me a nice comment down below. And I always love conversating with you guys in the comment section. So even if you don't want to be the comment shout out, make sure that you guys chat with me down there. But yeah, anyways, guys, thank you so much again for watching. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to stay safe and be kind. Bye-bye.
First time I saw you, girl, I like you to style.